In this video help, I'm going to be covering the trail location screen that is located by getting this button and clicking or tapping on it. As we go through the lessons, we're going to be covering the trail live map, the trail copy map, trail photos, and the website sites, trail websites. Let's go ahead and go to the location screen. In the location screen, when you enter, you're going to see that there are a number of items that can be added in this grid. This grid is a listing of all the current locations where you may want to either hike or bike, or it could be even a city where you're actually following a certain route where you're doing walks and you want to do or have information along the way. What the goal of this particular screen is that if you add the information for each hike or bike trail that you're going to be accessing, you want the additional information that describes the individual trail. For example, let's go to look at the Red Rock trailhead. I'm going to highlight it. In order to get into that record, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Find Record button, and it's going to bring up the screen. In this screen, you're going to see the name of the trail, the closest city, and the next closest city to that particular location. So this would be a way where you'd cross-check to make sure you're heading in the right direction when you're viewing a map. The additional fields on this screen, when they're used, you can add them and edit them at any time. You would go ahead and put the trail location. This may happen when you come to the trailhead itself and you add the information about the trail from the trailhead. You can do the same thing by locating a website that describes the trail and trailhead, and all the other information is involved with the trail coming down to this point. The current conditions would be something that you would go ahead and add as you're going through the trail, and that would be your impressions of how the trail is arranged, organized, and what the pathway looks like. Is it rough gravel? Is it big rocks? Is it grass? What would be the description of the condition? Then your own notes about what you have about the trail and dislikes you have about the trail, and any other information that would help if you later wanted to provide information to somebody about using this trail. The whole goal of giving the trail information is so you can recall when you actually go to the trail, and in addition, what facilities were available at that location. In this case, you can see the check marks in things like the store, local tours, cell reception, ice, and so forth. Cell reception is a good example of when you're on the trail. If you're traveling up and down the trail and you lose cell reception, that can be critical, especially if you're following maps that are included in the system and they're live maps. And that's why we have in this system, this application, we have a copy maps where you can actually copy maps from Google and place them into a static display of the maps. So if you're out on the trail and you lose your cell reception, you still have maps to locate and get around on the trail. To get back to the main screen we came from, you would click on the trail location. If you're going to add a new record, which we'll go through next, we go ahead and click the Add Record. And if you want to delete a record, you highlight the row where that record's at and click the Delete Record, and we'll go through that also. So let's just go ahead and add a record. And in this case, we're going to say, we'll just give it a bogus thing called New Trail. We're going to say it's in Near City. Obviously, you'd replace this information with what would be the correct actual information. And then this one would be next nearest city. These three fields are pretty much mandatory so that when you display back after you save the record by clicking this button, the information will show up in the grid showing you that trail and the card ID for that particular record that you're looking at. Now, to delete this record, you simply click in the field, click the delete. You'll get a dialog up that'll say, are you sure you wish to delete this record? And you say yes, and the record is deleted. You can see it has disappeared. In all the different screens, you can use the Video Help by clicking this button, and that's what allows you to view these videos. If you want to navigate to a different screen from this screen, pick where you want to go, click on that button, it'll take you to that location. This screen has a sub-screen that's called Trail History that will be covered. on that screen by clicking on the video help within that screen. And it'll explain how this trail history is used. This is an important screen and very helpful. So come back and take that tour. To get back to the main application screen, click on the main screen button to return to the main screen.